Christmas. Thank you. So, meaning and definition of constitution. What is constitution means? Very simple. Constitution word is developed from the Latin words constituere, which means to set up, to constitute, or to construct. So, constitution is the fundamental law to govern the state. This constitution is the basic principles and laws of the nations or state that determines powers, duties of the government and guarantee the certain rights to the people. Right? So, constitution means to set up and other things also. Similarly, according to Black's Law Dictionary defines constitution as fundamental and organic law of a state or nation that establishes the institution and apparatus of the government, defines the scope of the governmental sovereign power, and guarantees individual civil rights and civil liberties. Very crux definition. From its, it defines the constitution that that is the fundamental and basic law to run the government and organ of the government, and it also links between the civils rights and duties. According to Marshall's, Constitution points out that part of law which is related to the system of the government of the country. That means Constitution mostly focus on the system of the government of the country. What type of systems may exist in the country to rule. So Constitution thoroughly defines it according to Marshall. Okay. So what is the constitution then? Very simple, bullet wise. Look at here. Fundamental law of the country. Fundamental means basic, primary law of the country. Directory of the government. That means directions or directory role plays by the constitution for the government. Legal weapon to empower the government and control the power. That means the government works on the provisions of the constitution, and finally constitution controls the governmental power. It opposes the despotic power of the government. Similarly, documents of agreement to govern the state. Numbers of politicians or numbers of other concerned parties may agree a higher supreme agreement among the parties that comes the constitution. In Nepal, 7 political parties and Maoist party combinedly agreed and make agreement that is we found today as a constitution of Nepal, right? So it is the charter of civil rights also. Charter, numbers of rights are guaranteed in the constitution. Then document to determine the structure of the state. What type of a structure may exist? Federalism, central federalism state, or unitary system of state, or communist state, democratic state. What type of state may exist in the country? That is determined by the constitution. So finally, law. What is the constitution? Law to determine the organs of the state and their relations. That means constitution always determines the organs, parts of the state and their relations to others. So very short and look at it and here repeated fundamental law of the country to these all things are constitution. Clear? Okay? Very simple but bullet wise. Remember it. Next, constitution. Constitution coordinates between the jurisdiction of the ruler and the rights of the people. So it is the balance between the interests of the ruler and rights of the people. The constitution functions to balance between government and people's right. because it guarantees the right of the people. So constitution finally guaranteed the rights of the people. That's why the objective of the constitution is to limit on the arbitrary right of the government and to confirm the rights of the people. That means constitution gives a limitation to the power of the government. So government cannot exercise their power arbitrarily, anarchically, or despotic way. So constitution is the important document to maintain the balance between the ruler and the ruled. Look at here, ruler who regimes the state or who rules the state, and ruled. The ruled means the general people, the layman, right? The laws of the state are under the constitution. That means all laws created in the state are always under the constitution. They acquire the power and legitimacy from the constitution. That means legitimation or consistency from the constitution is compulsory needed because of the concern of the constitution with the functions of the state. It is considered as the politico legal document. That means political legal documents because constitution contains the political issues as well as legal issues, and combined in the forms constitution exists. It is also called a political document, right? Last conclusion. That's why the constitution is also document as the base to govern the state. Thank you. And finally, thus the constitution means the fundamental law of the country, which has determined the structure of the state, coordinates between the organs of the state, and confirms the civil rights. Okay.